We've never seen a force like this.
When I first read the script, I knew very little about the Dune universe. Yeah. So I loved the drama in it, the fact there were scenes that I could play and relationships I could really chew on, like my relationship with my sister and the younger members of the Sisterhood. But I didn't realise the implications of the names Harkonnen and Atreides until I told a man who was fixing my TV that I was going to play Tula Harkonnen, and he knelt down at my feet. And I was like, okay, this is more...
There's something to this.
Yeah, exactly. This might be a part I want to play.
I wasn't very familiar with Dune at all. Well, it's actually a director that I work with. He contacted me. I worked with him before. We had a great relationship. And he said, oh, can you read this script? I'd love to do it with you. My first reaction to the scripts was it's very thought-provoking. Dune Prophecy is very exciting in that way. It's like one big riddle. Everybody's got hidden agendas, and it's up to the audience to figure out who they want to believe in and who they think is doing the right thing.
I was very intrigued by the Bene Gesserits when I first saw Dune Part 1, Denis Villeneuve. So, like, to get more information about how that all started in terms of their abilities, the voice, the truth-saying, I was just so intrigued. And also just, like, to read a script with so many different and interesting characters that are all portrayed in a very human way. Like, they all, you really get to know them and see so many different sides to them. That just blew me away, because you never know what's going to happen, and you think you know, but then you don't. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was really cool.
I was pretty intrigued and excited. I mean, it's, for me, quite a departure from my normal lane to go into the world of sci-fi. But actually, we found that these characters felt complex and real. These are women from a really messed up family with a complex relationship, because they have a lot of very dark secrets to keep. But they have also, Valya in particular, has been chosen by a charismatic leader to set humanity on the right path, which is a very dangerous thing to do to a young person who is vulnerable and messed up and powerful.
My first reaction to the scripts, I remember reading them in the bath, and kind of, was already pretty hot in the bath, but kind of getting to the end of that script and finding myself sweating profusely, because it was such a wild ride, and the twists at the end of episode 1 just blew me away. And then I got super, super excited that I was going to be a part of it.
I think one of my favorite moments filming Dune Prophecy was, and we spoke about this earlier, was the Lance Rod.
Yeah.
Because it's this, I don't want to give anything away, but it's this scene where so many of us are in the scene. There's so many characters. They all have different agendas. A lot of, the vibe in the room is very dramatic. And it's a very, it's like for each and every character in the scene, that scene changes so much for them.
It's a pivotal moment.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's story converges, and then a big train comes on and takes them the other way.
Yeah.
It's and it took 4 days to film, so I think it's in all of our memories.
Yeah.
It's like quite a beast of a moment.
Yeah.
Probably the rap party. That was my favourite moment. There's lots of favourite moments. The sets blew my mind every day. I really appreciate the artistry and the work and the teamwork that it takes to make such a show. I'm excited for people to see some of the world that comes up in episode 5. There's the younger generations involved in that a lot on the show, and there's just some cool stuff with the younger generation having fun and getting on the spice. And also episode 3 is good. It's really at the origins of the Bene Gesserit, and it follows the young girls' their sort of journeys and what they were fighting for.
We actually, I'm sorry, but it's not on set, our favourite moment. We had some really good gatherings. There was a really good evening where we got, as many of us were in Budapest together, in a beautiful bar overlooking the Opera House as the sunset, and we just had a really good evening.
Yeah, we did. That would actually, for us, that was one of the things that was a real, it was like a kind of treasure of doing this job, was as company leaders creating a company. There was a lot of young people away from home. Some of them were tiny children, and just getting a sense of we're all in this together, and making sure that everybody felt seen and part of something. And when you do that, it gives something a life that you can feel it on the screen, because people just want to be at work. They want to collaborate. They want, it felt joyous in that way.
The very good moments on the Dune set often took place in the hair and makeup trailer. We had a fantastic hair and makeup designer called Kate Benton, and she just created a place where you started the day feeling sort of looked after. There was a great playlist on the music, and the sisters would all get together and catch up and then go onto the set with a sense that we all had something to do and something to play, which was great.
Take out your blade.
I think if I were to pick an ability of the sisterhood, I think I would love to speak with my ancestors. I think that would be really interesting.
That would be cool.
To like connect with people that I've never met but only heard about through other people's memories. Yeah, that 100%.
Yeah, that would be crazy. I think I'd use the voice and just tell my kids to eat the vegetables.
Yeah.
Make my life much easier.
I'd like, being able to hack my own biology, change my molecular structure.
Handy.
And speak to my ancestors, yes. Would
I
be pretty
think
cool.
my superpower choice would be the voice. I'm still trying to raise a teenager, so tidy your bedroom,
Eat your broccoli.
do your homework, brush your teeth.
I don't mind the power that my character has, where he can hurt people mentally very badly. And I think he gets off in doing that. I said I've never seen that sort of power before. He can mentally really get in people's head and hurt them from the inside out physically,
What do you want?
To wipe out every trace of the sisters from our world. That is why I've been gifted a great power.
I play Valya Harkonnen, who is the leader of the sect of the Sisterhood in the kind of current day of the series Dune Prophecy. And she is driven by a dark and vengeful, traumatic part of her youth.
I play Tula Harkonnen, who is part of the sisterhood that will become the Bene Gesserit. I'm the younger sister of Valya, and I don't know if you are a younger sibling or have a younger sister, but younger sisters have learnt to watch what their big sisters do and the mistakes they make, and do all the naughty things they do, but just don't get caught. Emily had the brilliant idea of going to the National Portrait Gallery in London and studying portraits of Queen Elizabeth I, who thought nothing of writing a letter saying I love you to her sister, and then with the same pen signing her death warrant. And I think she wasn't terribly nice to her cousins either. So I think these relationships, whether it's in Tudor London or in on a planet in 10,000 years' time, I think these relationships between families about vengeance and what your last name is come around again.
Dune historically has a reputation for taking real world issues into the world of sci-fi, and I think there's all kinds of things there that this sect of women get have control of. We have this power of truth sense where we provide a service to the leaders of the universe, that we can tell whether somebody's lying, which is obviously in terms of negotiating who's controlling what, is a great power. But in fact, we use truth as a commodity, and we use it to manipulate through the dark arts, allowing people to think they're in control. And it's the sort of give and take of power as we see fit.
Desmond Hart, very bad dancer, very good at karaoke. He's mysterious. You don't know. He's had a very horrible background, and he comes into the show as a mysterious character, and he's going to punish people and blame people for what's happened to him in the past. And he has no... when he hurts people, it hurts him as well, emotionally and physically, but I think he gets off on it, and he enjoys and feels justified for what he's doing. Well, yeah, he has a bit of conflict with everybody. You know, he has his certain beliefs, and he doesn't believe what the Sisterhood is doing is correct, and he's very skeptical about it, and he's really strong in his beliefs, and he'll do anything to achieve his goals. For the character, there's stuff that I really like to represent, the hardworking people and the everyday people, and I really want him to feel like an outsider in the flash world of the palace and the materialistic world, and I just want him to fight for the average Joe. You know, everything's so fancy in this world and materialistically driven, and sometimes people forget about, you know, 95% of the world.